Welcome. We're really excited to be here today. I'm Ellen, a talent acquisition specialist here at IR, and I'm here with Sherry, a graduate from the Ethnic Communities Graduate Programme, who's currently working in our talent team. We are working in the early in careers space at the moment, looking at how we can bring in good quality interns, graduates, and candidates each year to IR. We're pretty new to Prospal. Our site is under construction, but please keep your eye out as we will be uploading that content shortly.
Kia ora everyone, I'm Sherry, and as Ellen previously mentioned, I'm a graduate through the Ministry of Ethnic Communities, currently working in the talent and analytics team as at Ellen Revenue. So I'll just quickly give you an outlook of what we do at IR. So we collect 80% of the Crown's revenue. We also are collecting and dispersing social support program payments. We do provide government with policy advice as well. An interesting fact about Inland Revenue is that we're not just tax. Before I joined Inland Revenue, I thought it was all about GST and filing returns and taxes, but there are a lot of business groups one can go into. But saying that as well, if you are interested in tax, come work with us. Our main popular graduate roles are in policy, human resources, technology, and finance. Back to you, Ellen.
Cool, thanks, Sherry. Cool, so we wanted to come and speak about a few of the reasons that we love working at IR. One of the main reasons that I found after I joined, to be honest, was the employee-led networks that we have. And there's a few of the logos up the top there from our networks, but they include, but not limited to, the Rainbow Network, Women's, Multicultural, Diversability, Diversity and Inclusion, Mahu Tonga, Tagata Pacifica, and we also have pets at IR where people regularly upload pictures of their dogs. So each network is run differently and they're set up and run by employees, which is pretty cool. And these networks have a number of events celebrating things such as language weeks, cultural celebrations, as well as sharing interesting articles, TED Talks, and raising awareness of key issues and topics. Our senior leaders interact quite a lot with these posts. Recently, they posted selfies for National Women's Day, sharing how they're helping to #break the bias. This week, we've also had a Pride Week live stream. We're really flexible here at IR. Although a lot of grad and intern roles, it can be quite beneficial to be face-to-face. Most of our permanent and fixed-term roles can be based near any of our New Zealand office locations. For example, I'm based in Wellington right now, but I am moving to Tauranga later this year, which is going to be great, hopefully. For most people who work full-time, this would usually be 3 days in the office per week and 2 at home. But again, we can be really flexible here. For me, flexible working is a 9-day fortnight where I have every other Friday off. But for some other people, they choose to purchase extra leave, work flexible hours around other commitments, work part-time, or have study leave. And at the moment, Sherry is working from our Auckland office up there. Next, another reason I love working at IR is our Whanake conversations for performance. Whanake means to grow or to develop, and this is a karero or a conversation between people and their leaders to drive performance and development, and this is with support and guidance. So we really focus on the future, not on the past, and part of these conversations will be mapping which capabilities and skills you currently have and how to get to where you want to be. At IR, we have a lot of secondment opportunities. So we really value growth and developing our internal talent. A secondment is an internal move for a period of time. So this is usually to work on a project or to step in a role when someone's on leave. One of the big programs that we've had over the last few years is our business transformation to become a modern world-class revenue organization, which created a lot of internal opportunities. At IR, 2/3 of our workforce are customer facing. So a lot of people do join IR in customer-facing roles and then develop through secondment opportunities, for example, moving into different positions like team leaders or analysts, as well as being seconding into different business areas that suits you. This really enables you to gain experience and diversify your skills. We have a wellness hub, which is a wellness platform with activities, articles, challenges, and wellbeing discounts. As a team, we recently did a walking challenge, which has been really nice over the COVID period when we're not all together and working from home. And in the last few months, I've also personally completed a gratitude challenge and a digital detox. So there's quite a few extra things just to keep our wellbeing topped up. We have monthly people experience pulse surveys, which are optional surveys, but they check in with wellbeing, work experience, and any support required. Our last survey also focused on how included we feel, with employees suggesting how we can be more inclusive. And with the data that we receive, we make real changes, which is great, so that we can see the change happen. You'll also see at the bottom there that we're Rainbow Tick certified. We really value and embrace diversity in the workplace here. And I'll move back to Sherry.
Thank you, Ellen. Now coming to how you can actually come and work for us. So as a graduate, you can join us either through our entry-level roles or through the intern and graduate programs we have here at Inland Revenue. So we recruit for graduate policy advisors every year. It's a permanent position beginning in Feb, but we start the recruitment process around July. So that's the time when you'll probably see the ads going up on Possible or our careers website. You will be part of the policy team, providing analysis and advice to deliver government's economic agenda, technically. So that's our graduate policy advisor role. We also have our customer service roles. You can either join as a customer support officer or as a customer compliance officer. As a customer compliance officer, you will be working directly with the communities and the customers and helping them understand their obligation and entitlements. And once you come through these roles, actually, there's a lot of opportunity to grow. One of our colleagues in the analytics team, she started as a customer support officer, and then she went on and did an internship with the human resources team, and now she's a senior analyst at Inland Revenue. So it also tells you how there's so much options in terms of career growth, diversity, skills. So you do have those sort of options, even if you come through the customer service roles as well. And then we have our analyst level 1 and business support roles, which do give you another pathway to come into Inland Revenue as a graduate. Now moving towards the intern and graduate programs we have. So we don't have a graduate program of our own at Inland Revenue, but we do partner with a lot of other government agencies to bring in grads and interns every year. The first one, as you can see, is the GovTech Talent Program. So it was formed to help deliver government services to New Zealanders. Now, an interest in technology is encouraged, but we've had grads coming into policy, legal services, customer insights role, and it is run through DIA. But again, even if you're not from a technology background, you can still come to Inland Revenue through the GovTech program. Then we have the Ethnic Communities Graduate Program. I'm part of the Ethnic Communities Graduate Program. It provides a meaningful first employment opportunity to ethnic communities in New Zealand for them to actually come into the public sector. It is an 18-month program, and it depends on your agency. For me, I do rotate in Inland Revenue when it comes to different teams and different projects as well. Then last but not the least, we have the Public Sector Finance Grad Program. It is also run through DIA, and it is a 3-year rotational development program to get you into the finance world, and they also help you with your accountancy examinations as well, and you do get some time to go and study as well. So it's another way for people who are interested in accountancy and stuff to join Inland Revenue. So now moving towards the interns. So every year from November to Feb, we welcome interns for a 12-week program. You could either be a graduate or be in your penultimate year of study. It's always hard for me to pronounce that word, but I've done it. Yes, so majority of our interns come through the Tipatoa program. The Tipatoa creates pathways for Maori and Pacifica students into corporate and professional sectors. But this year we're also planning on working with MPI, Ministry of Primary Industries, and bringing an intern through their safety summer internship program. So if you're someone who's interested in health and safety, please go check out their website, MPI's website. And we will also be posting when the time is near on Prosper and on our careers website at Inland Revenue as well. We're also looking now working to work with other agencies such as MSD and Choices to bring in differently able graduates into the public sector and how we can help them and bring them into our public service. So yeah, this gives you a snapshot of like what we have and how you can join Inland Revenue. Definitely, we don't have a grad program, but then we have all these opportunities from graduate policy roles to customer service to all these other graduate programs through which you can come and join us. And keep an eye on Prosper or Careers website. We will be updating it quite regularly. So yes.
Sounds good. I'm going to stop sharing there while I do a little Q&A with Sherry, but I just thought I'd also mention that some of the other programs sound really great. I've loved listening in here, and there is the potential that we might use some of the other programs that have been spoken about already. So we're not limited just to these, but these are the ones that we have been using recently. So Sherry, I was going to ask you, what is your background and how did you start working at IR?
Cool. So I grew up in Pakistan and moved to Aotearoa when I was 19 to do my undergrad. I went to the University of Otago and graduated almost towards the end of 2020 with a Bachelor's of Commerce majoring in international business. And then that's how I graduated. And once I graduated, I was working in Dunedin with a startup, education tech startup, as an enrollment associate. And after the completion of my internship, I worked as an auditor before getting this gig with Inland Revenue and moving up to Wellington because I was in July last year. So yes, and then when I initially joined Inland Revenue, I was with the tax technical team, where our job was to make tax more accessible for New Zealanders all across New Zealand. And now I am working with the people and talent and analytics team as a talent acquisition advisor. So yeah, that's sort of a summary of how I came into IR and what I do. Yeah.
Nice, thank you. And what is your favorite thing about working for IR?
Well, my favorite thing about working with IR, I think, is just the amount of opportunities I have. Just like how I've worked in the past 9 months, I've worked in 2 very different teams, from tax technical now into talent and analytics. It's just the diversity of opportunities you get. And another good thing is it varies from team to team, of course. But for me, I've been very lucky because if I'm interested in something, I just raise my hand and I talk to my leaders, my teammates, and they make sure that if I'm somehow given the opportunity to get that experience and to, learn those skills at the end of the day. So just, the openness and just the opportunities there are to, work.
Great, thank you. And what is some advice that you would give to those looking for their next step in their career or starting their career?
Well, what I have to say is an interesting phase. Once you're done with uni, it's a very big shift into, the proper work life, as we said. But what I would say is just being open-minded. Trust me. You can see I was working as an enrollment associate. I did auditing, and now I am working at Inland Revenue. So just being open-minded. And then even at Inland Revenue, I was with tax technical. And then now when I was given the opportunity of coming to the talent team, I just took it because I was interested and I love it now. Like, I never thought I would be working in the talent space, but here I am, and I'm loving it. So just being open-minded. I would also say just having those Fanake conversations with your team members, especially with your leaders, telling them what you want to learn, and just having those conversations. And I think the most important thing is to ask questions. As a graduate, when you're coming in, definitely it could be a lot of, at times you're like, oh, should I ask this question? Should I not ask this question? But at the end of the day, just ask those questions because that's how we learn. But yeah.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
That is everything from us. I'll just have a look and see. I think we've got a few questions. So we have, what does the development program look like? What sort of training and support are students provided? So I think that I can answer this one. I think this one it's really dependent on what you want. So that's part of our Funake conversations are what are you looking to get out of this? And it's really focused on what skills and capabilities you have now and what you'd like to get, and then we can work individually on that and tailor it to kind of suit your needs. The next one, do you take international students in your graduate programs? Yeah, we can take anyone who has the rights to work in New Zealand there.
I was an international student, so yeah, and I'm working, so yeah.
Sounds good. Do you accept Polytech students in the intern programs? I believe they do, because they're not our own programs. We'd have to double check with Tupatoa and the other programs that we use. And in the future, I think we would like to create our own intern program where we would like to potentially even bring people who haven't studied at universities as well, because we know that we don't want to miss anyone out, and there's lots of talented people out there. And the next one, do you allow grads to work from home? I'm based in Northland, and do you have an office here? We do have an office in Northland, which is good. One of our talent acquisition members works up there, and I think there's quite a lot of people who work in customer service up there. And each team is different with regards to flexible working, but our general policy for IR is for full-time people, 3 days in the office and 2 days at home. But like anywhere, we can be really flexible.
Absolutely.
And the last one, are there any IT roles at IRD? Yeah, there are. One of the kind of ways that I think would be a good option to get into IT is kind of more service desk type roles, is more entry level, and then being able to be in secondments or do lots of development to get into roles that you are interested in.
Yeah, adding to that, I think even those cross-agency graduate programs like ME, DIA, Ministry of Physical Communities, or GovTech, there are a lot of agencies on board. So you would have stats or like health MOH as well, and they would be working in the IT space. So you can come through that as well, if that's an option to work in the IT industry as well, if you want.